I ended up having a discussion with my AI yesterday, and especially now where we are headed with everything. And we're still in Mercury retrograde for like a week, so it's good to revisit things that had happened in the past or to take a step back and maybe try to do things we kind of should have done before, or think of a new way of doing something. It might not be time for it this week, but your mindset should be clearer at the end of this week for taking like a step forward in whatever direction you have like landed with. And it's a lot of work. I've spent this morning with helping out a friend and helping out my sister. I do so from time to time when they ask me, and we talk about I like cards obviously for them, and if there are any specific like issues they want to kind of talk about, and we speak about it, and they kind of re-evaluate their position, where they're at, how to approach things. One of them just needed to, everything is fine, she just needs to know what she wants and then speak about it. That was like in every issue we approached, were like, yeah, if you know what you want, then just say it and then you can move towards it. If you don't know what you want, then you have to figure that one out and then say it. That was like the reoccurring theme. The other one were more, she needed to just heal from past stuff. Which we all do. I did a lot of readings on myself this morning to see where I'm at, where I'm going. I already know some things, but it did kind of point out that I'm closer than I think for whatever next step is coming. So I need to prepare more for it, because I might emotionally or mostly emotionally, or like how I used to, my belief system, how I used to deal with stuff might hold me back if I'm not like there to steer the boat myself. We can take action, we can do all the things, and then the universe can hold us back. But we can also end up where I seem to find myself, if I don't work on this, that the universe is taking me on a roller coaster ride or on a path forward, and I struggle with like a past, how I used to see myself, and to kind of step into the next thing. So we all have something, even if we don't, even if it doesn't look like it around me. I might have a lot of things going on inside. If things starts to change around me, how am I coping with it? That's pretty much like my issue, and I have to figure that out next coming 7 days until Mercury is going direct again, because things are going to move, and have like be clear when it does, like which path do you actually want to take. And why I'm saying this is because my AI and I ended up like talking about Europe and Russia, and my 2 readings on Zelensky and Putin yesterday. The Russian president is in like a reflective mode. He is the hermit. He's like within. He's not speaking as much. He is doing what the energy is kind of asking him to reevaluate, where do you actually want to go. Is a full-blown war with Europe like the thing, the next step, because everybody is kind of saying that, everybody is yelling. I'm the only one that says the opposite. Like, yeah, I'm not backing down until it changed or it's changing. When I see it in my cars, yeah, no, he is angry again, or he is hurt, or he is, now it's like full on with Europe, like he is pushing the button. Then I will say that. I'm still not seeing it. I don't believe it right now. However, everything can change, and Europe is in this weird place where they speak a lot about, like, the only thing that the Russian president is kind of responding to is brute force. We need to be, I don't know, dropping more bombs or something. And they're not really doing that. Like, if Europe actually believed that in its core, that full-scale warfare is going to end this, they should have done that a long time ago, instead of dragging this out with, and they don't think that you can't speak to him, you can't do anything, he's not listening, he's not, well, you haven't even tried, so how can you say that? My AI seem to think that it is Europe's time to kind of act, to do something. It feels like they're going to. However, it is almost like a Zelensky problem here. And Zelensky knew that something was wrong and he needed to fix it. He came into a lot of trouble with his people, with EU, with everybody had an opinion, and it turned out in the end that he was right all along. It obviously, if you watch my channel, we already knew. And I think EU needs to do that too. They need to kind of, yeah, no, this country will be mad at me or us. EU is not going to like this. The Americans is probably going to feel left out, or we're going to have to deal with them. The Americans are always there in like the background. I always have to have considered them into the equation, even if I'm trying to kind of do or tell this story in a way that they actually want to. But every time you kind of shift towards that Russia and Europe might talk, the Americans become anxious because they feel a lot of stuff like, we're going to lose influence, we are going to, this is not good, we need to be like the leader of this, that, or whatever, even if they actually don't want to. So it's like what they want is to not be the leader of anything in Europe. They want to take care of themselves, which they should. However, they are extremely frightened that they might lose appearance or relevancy or control, or like Europe needs them, or that Europe is going to be like best buddy with Russia, and then they're going to close out the Americans, and you know, all these kind of fears can pop up every time you even suggest that Europe should actually talk to Russia. Nothing has happened at all, but I can feel it every time, and my AI, yeah, no, we need to drag the Americans into this because they are freaking out now. Okay, so we need to, like, I can't just focus on EU, Europe, and Russia. I need to have the Americans into consideration with pretty much everything. And Europe seems to be holding back because they are so aware of, they don't want to step on anybody's toes. They don't want to be the one taking initiative. However, they're going to. I don't know which country, if it is Hungary, is it Hungary, France, or Germany. These are these three countries that I can see do something. I'm not so sure. Hungary he is very aware of where the country is located between Europe and Russia. So he tries his best to stay friends with everybody, which he should do. I'm not saying anything about that. If he says something, it might not land that good. He doesn't have the authority, or the country in itself doesn't have the authority to drive anything in Europe. The Swedes would never say anything like in the open. We work more so behind the scenes. So maybe they feel like a new ambassador in Moscow is the way to go. But we will say that we have a new ambassador, but we will not say what kind of strategy is behind that, what has happened, and where we want to go with it. If they're not starting to kind of talk more loudly, obviously. I think Germany and France, I don't know, it is on them. I'm not so sure that they will, or if I know Europe is going to. I don't know who though. I don't know in what way. If it is going to be EU or something else. I don't just know that Germany or France has to or have to. I don't know if they will though. Is it Trump that is going to kind of change anything? No, it's not. He is seen as too kind of flaky, it's too much of an energy of going in, going out. And I think that is kind of the general theme of the Americans. I don't think it has to do with the current president of the United States. I think it is up to Europe, and they seem to kind of wait on something. Will they? Behind the scenes, probably this week. Nothing that is out there, nothing that, or maybe some small indication of it, if like you pick something up or there is a shift. How would the Russian president take it? He's very quiet right now, very introspective, watching more than he lets on, and he is aware of every shift in tone or in what we talk about. So if someone is going to talk about, like let's say Germany, we'll talk about like memories of a time when we used to get along, we used to have like a certain goal together, or when something just went well, then the Russian president would actually listen or hear that, and he would probably not respond. But if anybody said something, they would know it would land with him. If it was like spoken with some kind of, we know that we don't talk today, we know that there is like a wall between us, we might actually miss when things used to be good between us. Nothing more so than just like opening a door, opening a window. You don't have to actually respond to us. You don't have to kind of do anything. You just need to listen to this. You just need to kind of hear us out, and he will. this is the coming week, if anything of such thing actually happens. And it is what we are supposed to do. Kind of reach out, mending like mistakes we did in the past, reevaluate what we said, what we did. Like the thing that he only responds to brute force, he only responds to strength. Yeah, I know what they want to say, but that energy was like a month ago when I kind of stepped into it the first time. It felt like you needed to pick him up and throw him across the room and just say, yeah, no, you need to kind of calm down. And when you had throw him across the room, you kind of had to go and kind of help him up, like give him a hand and like, yeah, let's try this again, shall we? And the energy after that has been quite polite, quite, so I understand what they're coming from, but that should have been done. Like, it's too late. If you do that now, it will not be taken lightly. You had the chance to do that like a month ago or even earlier, kind of meet him with that kind of a force. I don't see that happening now, or that it would be a good thing to do. They would kind of stop talking altogether, and then Europe would have even more difficulties reaching out, because you know, it's like someone is standing, like the door is open, they're standing there, they don't approach you. You can still kind of say hello, you can still like speak a little because they're standing there and the door is open. But let's say that you're starting to like throw rocks at them, or you're starting to kind of be aggressive and they close the door. It's much harder to reach them. And it's that kind of an energy, like the door is open, now Europe have to kind of do the same here. That is pretty much the energy that I am picking up on right now. It feels like a crossroad. Where do you want to go? And it is both Russia and both Europe. I do get the Americans. They have helped a lot. The core energy with them, however, is that they don't want to. They just want to be like the hero. They just want to, of course, we help. But they really want to, and they need to kind of take care of themselves. So Europe needs to find the strength and, okay, fine, we'll create some chaos here. We start to talk to Russia. Let's see where it lands. We'll see what happens. And it's going to be like the Zelensky thing because people don't understand. That is usually why I do often, if you haven't healed, people can start wars over what I'm saying. They can create like disasters, they can create chaos because what I say kind of hurts. They don't want to listen. That is why it is so fun to help my sister and my friend, that they are kind of healed people. They listen and they have what I'm saying in the back of their mind, and they are aware of what I'm saying, and if it kind of resonates with the reality of it. But I've had people that I've said things and they do the exact opposite, or they're fighting whatever word I'm saying. Like it just creates chaos. And from what I have seen, this retrograde, because things have come up on my social media, I haven't said anything, I haven't done anything. They don't do well now. If it seems like everybody is really struggling with the issues that I'm actually told them like 2-3 years ago. I told you that was your issue. But with me, it just created this conflict with me that I was wrong. That is not what's happening. That is not what I need to work on. That is not something, yeah, and so on and so forth. What I've learned from the past few years is that I can let this go. Let's say that Europe just, no, it's just brute force. Let's go full force. And in a year or two, everybody is probably going to say the exact same thing that I'm always hearing, that I was right all along. That Russia probably is waiting for what Europe is going to do. Are they going to start bombing or kind of use force instead of actually talking? And where that is going to lead, probably to nothing good. So I think that is my opinion this morning, or this afternoon. I mean, time flies today. And yeah, I hope Europe makes some effort this week. You might get a response, you might not. You might be quiet, you might be just someone reflects, others might have a lot to say, like the Zelensky environment. And you just have to sit and watch everything happen without, and just feel in your gut that what you have done is the right thing, even if it backfires, or just learn from Zelensky. He was right all along. But not everybody are like mature enough. It hurts probably. They have a lot of emotions they can't handle. It's like sometimes truth hurts and we don't want to deal with it. We think everything is fine, or that we have done the work, and that we are like finished with it. We can move on, and then it comes back around, like always with a retrograde. And we have to feel the disappointment, we have to feel the regret, and we have to be bored and sad, and we have like all of it just comes back. And I've dealt with it too, this retrograde. We are finally moving past it. Like, okay, I really do not want this issue back. How can I like not have this issue back around with the next retrograde? Like, how can I move on from it? So it's a lot, I feel. And we are in a crossroad, and at a crossroad. Where do we want to go? How do we want to be remembered? Like in 2 years, if I look back at how Europe handled all of this, will I be proud or disappointed, ashamed, embarrassed, or just feel like, yeah, no, they did something good back there? I don't know. We'll see. I don't make the decisions. Thank God for that. I would obviously be the one reaching out and not care at all what the rest of the European countries think. Like, bring on the storm. I don't care. I have my intuition. I have my gut feeling when I know that something is like the right thing to do. And I do hope that one president, one country, one person, one party, one organization kind of picks that up, kind of picks that courage and boldness and let the storm come if it wants to. Just see people's pain and fear. And like, Poland is obviously not going to like anybody speaking about needing to resolve things or be friends with Russia, even if they would actually do better if Europe got along with Russia. So it's weird. Like, okay, we are trying to kind of mend things, but Poland is going to freak out over it. Not going to like it. Like, okay, is it better that we are mortal enemies? That makes absolutely no sense because you kind of live near them. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to take Poland into the account, but there, it makes no sense. So you have to be the logical one in doing so. Yeah, I'm done.